The first mode that you have here is the pull push. What you can do with it is that you can amplify or decrease stuff. So say I want to grab the translate Y on this animation here. Just to show how it is, you know. You can grab like those guys here and amplify that. Or if you go all the way down, it's going to decrease until it became linear. You can also, you know, it works as a section based. So if I grab those keys here, those unselected keys are going to be the anchors, like so, you know. And if you want to create a key already in a linear position, you can use this linear button here. So if I click on that, it's going to create a key already in linear. So, and you of course can like select everything and click here. It's going to create for all those keys. Another thing that it does, you see you have this right and left buttons here on the linear. Those are good for creating like extend your animation. Say you're here, grab this guy first. So say you have a handle animation and you want to create a key here that like continues the movement what you have. So if you go here and click, if you see on the graph editor, what it's doing is that it's creating like it was a continuity of this linear movement here. So you see kind of went back a little bit, and of course the other side you can do the same. If you grab the graph editor, you see, and if I turn that linear, it'll be better to understand. So you see here, it's going to create a continuous linear animation of the last two keys. You know? Then you have this is in out, and this is out here. So what you can do with it is that you can recalculate everything that you have. Let's grab just one channel here. So say I wanna make a really nice ease out here. So if I go on the slider here, once I click, you see got already linear. So if I go all the way here, it's going to, you know, make a very hard like ease out. Or if I go the other side, it's an ease in. So it recalculates everything that you selected. It's the same if I grab everything here, for example, it's going to do like so. And the same idea with the linear on the ease out. If you click here, you have already pre-selected values. So I'll delete here. Say I want to create some keys here on a easy out fashion. Like I can create some keys here. You see, the more that I go, the more is out. It's going to create like the same place, so you can see what I'm talking about. See, it's you could create a key with a Twin Machine as well. It's kind of the same thing, but the ease out is always going to know the distance between one key and another. So if I create a key with a twin machine, let's say this very last here, the value is gonna be the same if I create either here or if I create here. This is the same key. But at the ease out, on the other hand, if I create the key here, I'm gonna grab this guy, it's a better example, like the second key here. So if I create on this frame, you see that the value is like 5.7 or something. But if I create like closer to the last value, it's going to go all the way up. So it's always going to try to draw this ease out curve, like if I was doing with this. In the middle of pull push and ease out, you have this noise option here. If you click on that, what you can do is to use for stuff like here. So you have this waviness going on. So if I turn back the noise, it's going to like decrease this amount of trouble going on the curve. So it's good for when you have a lot of keys, say a baked animation, and you wanna make that smooth that out. You can use that. Also, you can do the opposite, like amplify your noise. And another thing that you can do with it, say here you have a lot of, let's delete this guy. So you have a few keys here. So we're in a blocking start to spline animation, and you have a lot of those dead keys that you wanna like smooth that a bit. If you use the negative noise a couple of times on that keys, you can like smooth that out. And of course you can select, the trick is you can select all your keys into the same thing, right? So I don't even need to select on the graph editor. If I want to do like directly here, I can. See? So before I go to the rest of these modes, I'm going to talk about this precise transform a little bit. It's just a way to add values of precise values. So say I want to add like 5 to that. I just click on that and or either decrease 5 on that. So on a 5 on all those things, you can do like so. And it's one use for this as well. Sometimes you have a swivel. I don't think this rig have, but sometimes you have like Euler problems that you cannot solve using this filter here, because when you have only one channel, so you have a swivel on the arm on the channel here, you cannot solve using this. It doesn't work. So you see something like this. So you have something like that, like going 360 degrees from one key to another, like on a jump. So sometimes you can fix that. See here, there's a trouble. I can just fix by going here on the channel and put 360 and pull it back. That's one use of that, and of course can use for a lot of stuff. If you right click here, there's a preset stuff. for smaller values. So just right click and select. That's basically it. So all those blend options here, it's exactly what it says. It's going to blend to something. So the first one that I have here is blend to default. So remember when I told about this reset to value to default thing? It's going to do the same, but in a like in an interactive way, let's say. So say I want those keys, reset those, it's going to do that. But if I use the slider, it's going to slowly bring the values to that. And it doesn't matter the direction that I go, it's going to do the same. So let's say a good use for that, say the hands. You have let's pick another, that hand over here. So say on that I have this kind of complex shape hand, but I want like to smooth that to the default thing a little bit. So I could just select, I need to have a key, right? Yeah, there's a key. So I just smooth a bit. Of course, the default values for this hand is kind of strange because the length are also set to 0. So I may select those guys instead. Okay, so you can like blend that. The full default value will be this. So if I want to just blend that a little bit. The next option here will be blend to neighbors that I already told about on the previous video. It's a good way to like tight stuff. Say you wanted this to be a little tighter to the other side, you can just select those keys and blend a little bit, have more help to working or easy in and out stuff. Or you can even grab, let's see the eyes, what they're doing. Oh, they're not doing too much. Grab the mouth instead. So here I have a U. Say I want to blend that shape a little bit to that U position. I could just blend a little bit and see what it's doing here. Or I can select only the X channel and blend to that. The next one will be blend to mirror. What it does is, remember when I was talking about this mirror button here? So the idea is the same. It's going to, instead of like applying the whole bunch of values at the same time, so I'm going to make a different hand here. So I have this, instead of applying all that values to the other hand, like if I would select all the hand, unselect those channels here, and if I click here, it's going to copy, right? So if I want to do the same with this, blend to mirror, I would have to, instead of selecting these guys, I have to select the guy that I want to change. That's the only difference. So I selected this and blend to the value that are on the other side. So I want to blend just a little bit, I can do that. It's good when you have See on you have that eyebrows like so. So if I select all these controllers and I wanna make this guy look like the other, I just do like that. Or if you select shift click here, you will select the other controllers as well. And if I have both controllers selected and blend, it's going to do like that. I'm going to slowly blend to the opposite. One thing to notice though is that if you right click here, you have this invert rules on the mirror, right? So it's going to always respect what you have here. These are the default options, so it's going to mirror the translate X for those objects, which it's usually the way that is the default setup on some rigs, but sometimes, mainly on the facial controllers, sometimes you don't want to like invert the X values for mouth controllers. So you see like this rig, it doesn't work that way. So if I just grab this guy and mirror and look what he did, he should do like that instead of inverting the X, like put the same X value, right? So in those cases, you would want to uncheck that box. So if I apply now it's going to be on the right thing. It's the same if you use this guy. It's going to respect those rules. This blend frame is a quite new option that I put in there. So what it does is I was planning to use like more for mouth and hand stuff. So remember that I blend that mouth, like blend to neighbors, I blend to the U thing. But say I want to blend this mouth to the U, but I don't have the U here, right, on the neighbors. So what I can do is use a blend to frame, go to the frame that the U is, hit either A or B, and it's going to appear there. And I go to whatever frame I want and slowly blend to that shape. You have A and B, you can choose like two different mouths at once. Whoa. So I want this very ugly mouth here. So now I can blend either to that or the other mouth. You see, and you can continue clicking and selecting keys. And if you right click, it's going to show a list of whatever you have already selected. So you can always go back. Like I know the U is a 52. You can do it like so. Yeah, that's it. All those scale from something options here, it's going to scale our keys about some pivot. So an example here, you want to scale this guy. So you want to grab those keys, let's say that keys. And if you scale from that, it's going to do like so. But say you have a lot of channels and you want to scale those from a point, but not everyone from a single point, like I would do like that. It's not really helpful, right? So let's start from scale from default. So it's going to grab the default value from each curve and scale from that. So you see that all of those curves, the default values are 0, so it's scaling from that point. If I want to invert all those values, I can use the scale from default thing and go all the way back. It's going to scale -1 from everyone. It's a good way to invert things. If I go to the other one, it's a scale from average. We should grab the average value from those selected keys and scale about that. So if you go like halfway here, you can see where the pivot is. Here I can notice that each curve is scaling from one different pivot, right? Undo that. You have the scale from neighbor left. It's a way to grab just one curve. No, say I want to scale all those guys from this one. I could do like so, but it's not so precise, you know. You can use that. It's going to scale from that point. And also, it's all those modes here can apply in segments. So if I do not select one of those keys here, it's going to interpret as two different segments here. See? So it's scaling those keys from that anchor and all those keys from that anchor. And scale from right, it's the same, but it's going to grab the right neighbor key. And the last button on this green section here is this share each other keys. So this I just use when I when you select one. I like to key every controller on everything, but sometimes you select one controller that there's no key. Let's say this one have no keys, but you already create a lot of keys on these guys, and you want to kind of have the keys on the same spot for this. So I could just select something that have the keys that I want to create, shift select the guy that there's no key, and I can right click here and hit all keys. You know, see that create keys on the same spot. If I want to create like just for one session, say I want to copy, but I just want to copy these keys. So I just normal click this guy and create those keys.